I'm Makaila.
And I'm Nick.
And this is a completely legitimate movie podcast.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's episode of a completely legitimate movie podcast. This week, we are going to be reviewing Joker, 2019 DC comic book movie about the Batman villain. Really, this is something I talked to about with my friends a lot. We kind of postulated that Batman's only so popular because he has the most interesting villains. You have to speak into your microphone.
I said I could agree with that.
Yeah. Okay, good. Now everyone knows.
Now all of China knows. No, anyway.
All right, well let's hit the research here, darling. What tell us about the movie?
Okay, so Joker is a twisted take on a villain origin story where we watch a miserable and abused man become the most infamous Batman villain of all time. It was released October 4th of 2019. And interesting fact, the sequel to that was actually released October 4th as well. Obviously different year, but I just thought that was like cool.
That is cool.
It's directed by Todd Phillips, and he's known mostly for working on comedies, so I think this was a way for him to kind of step out of a genre that he's well known for. It stars Joaquin Phoenix as Arthur Fleck / Joker. Of course, he has an extensive career. Previous roles include Gary in Parenthood, Kenai in Brother Bear, Theodore in Her, and like I said, a lot of roles, so I'm not going to list them all. Robert De Niro plays Murray, again, an actor with a long-standing career. Previous roles...
He's been in a lot of stuff.
He's been in a lot. If we named it all, this would be a podcast in of itself. Previous roles include Vito in Godfather Part 2, James Conway in Goodfellas, Jack Burns in the Meet the Parents trilogy, and last year he starred as William Hale in the movie Killers of the Flower Moon, for which he was nominated for an Academy Award Best Actor in a Supporting Role. It also stars Zazie Beetz as Sophie, and if she looks familiar, she played Domino in Deadpool 2, and she's also starred in the TV show Atlanta as Van. Then we have Frances Conroy as Penny Fleck. This would be Arthur Fleck's mother. She has starred in a lot of TV shows. Probably the most well-known would be Ruth Fisher in 6 Feet Under, as well as starring in American Horror Story. And then the last person that I listed as the cast, because this was probably like the main makeup of the cast, we have Brett Cullen as Thomas Wayne. And interestingly enough, this isn't his first Batman-related role. He's also credited as playing Congressman in The Dark Knight Rises. He has an extensive history with TV, and I kept trying to place him while we were watching the movie. So when I was doing the research, as soon as I saw his main photo for his actor page, I was like, oh my gosh, he was in Lost. He played Goodwin. So that's why I was like, I feel like I know him, but I can't place where I've seen him. This movie earned Joaquin Phoenix a BAFTA and an Oscar. Oscar doesn't have a T in it. An Oscar for Best Actor. It was also nominated for a plethora of Academy Awards, including Best Motion Picture of the Year, Best Achievement in Directing, Best Adapted Screenplay, and Best Achievement in Cinematography.
That's a lot of stuff.
Yes.
And it's interesting because in this movie, he plays a Joker and a smoker, but we don't know if he's a midnight toker.
We can assume.
That's the good kind of inferring.
Yes.
That's the good kind of inferring, not the Amelia Perez kind.
Yeah, no.
Anyway, let's dive in. We open to, we kind of get like a news radio broadcast we hear as the city opens. It's October 15th, 1981, and a garbage strike is in day 18 in Gotham. It's affecting businesses. It's making people sick. They have super rats. It's not good for anybody. It's kind of just a sign of the times. Things are not good in Gotham City. As we get this business or this news bulletin, we see Joker putting on his clown makeup in the mirror, using his fingers to stretch his mouth into a smile.
Foreshadowing.
Yeah, a lot of foreshadowing. We then cut to him spinning a sign for a business that's going out of business. He's dressed as a clown, got the clown makeup, spinning around the "Everything must go" sign, doing a pretty good job. Seems to,
he's
he,
a good sign spinner.
yeah, he did a good job. But some rotten ass teenagers knock him down, steal his sign, and he chases them.
Right, and it's like, "Man, you're not earning that much. That's not worth
It is
it.
not worth it.
It is not worth it." But I'm gonna come back to that later because apparently it is worth it.
Right.
They, like, clothesline him with the sign,
Yeah, they trick him into
and
going down an alley.
yeah, well, I don't know if they were, like, necessarily tricking him, I think he was just, like, full on
Yeah, they
pursuit.
lured him in there.
Yeah, and they clothesline him as he's coming around the corner, and, then, yeah, they jump him.
Yeah, and they shatter the sign over his head doing
Yeah,
that.
the sign is no more. It
Yeah.
is now kindling.
Well, yeah, because I thought, those signs, I don't know how big they are, but that was like a smack.
Yeah.
Like, it's like some
Yeah,
sort of wood.
right.
I don't know. We see him waking up, or later after that, not waking up. He's sitting and he's laughing hysterically, but he doesn't. You can tell from the look on his face, he's not trying to laugh.
Yeah, it sounds almost like laugh crying, like he is trying when you have that, like, tickle in your throat and you're trying not to cough, like,
Yeah.
that's kind of what it sounds like with his laugh, is like he's trying to stop it,
Yeah.
but it won't stop.
Oh, he's even sniffling too.
Yeah,
Like, it's not. It's no good. He's not laughing because he's having a good time.
right.
He's sitting across from a woman at a desk. We find out this is his social worker, and he asks her if it's getting crazier out there. She agrees. Things are tense, times are tough, work's hard to come by, and she asks if he's been journaling, and he claims that he has. And she's like, "Well, can I see it? I've told you to bring the journal to these sessions," and he hesitates. He is not excited to give it to her, and after some hemming and hawing, he does, claiming he's also been using it as a joke diary. And we she flips through it. Nothing in there looks funny.
I wrote down, "I just hope my death makes more sense than my life." I don't know if it's just I don't understand humor. I like to think I do, but that made me laugh because he spelled sense wrong, and I wasn't sure if that was, like, on purpose or not, but just that, like, his death makes more, like,
Like
sense,
saying,
not yeah. So, I don't know. That did actually make me chuckle, and I'm like, "I don't know if we're supposed to laugh at that," but I did.
well, and it's unclear if he misspelled it because he's trying to be funny or make a pun, or if he's, got some mental struggles.
Right, or just can't spell worth shit.
Oh, that too. We don't know. We don't know. It's not made clear.
Well, it's made a little clearer in the next part because we find out he spent some time in a mental hospital.
Yes, and we don't know why.
Yeah, it's
She
not elaborated on.
Yeah, she asks him if these sessions have been helpful, if being able to talk to someone helps. He says he thought things were better when he was locked up in the hospital, and she asks if he thought about why he was locked up, and he replies, "Who knows?" We gotta get a shot of him in a mental
Padded
hospital,
room.
padded room, hitting his head against the wall,
Yeah,
and that's it. It's never explained why he was there.
right. He wants the doctor to increase his medication. Apparently, he's on 7 different kinds of medications, so you have to figure he was in the hospital and it was a doozy.
Yeah. And she's like, "You're already on 7. They have to be doing something," and he just doesn't want to feel bad anymore.
Yeah.
We cut to him. He is on a train going home, and there's a little kid sitting in front of him, just staring at him.
Like kids do.
Yeah, this kid's 3, maybe
Right.
a toddler. The mom is not bothering to turn him around or be like, "Stop staring at the guy."
'Cause he's a
So,
toddler.
yeah, toddler. So, we learn from the subtitles, I don't think it's been said yet, that his name is Arthur.
Yeah.
And any and I'm not a huge Batman or DC comic fan. If when I read comics, I would read Marvel, but everyone knows we don't actually in any comic lore are given a real name for the Joker.
Yeah, everybody knows,
Yeah, everyone.
including me. I definitely knew that.
Maybe someone listening doesn't. But like,
Maybe someone in this very room.
yeah, the Joker's had many different aliases and had many different backstories that all contradict each other. So the movie settles on the name Arthur. And this being an alternate universe, this is a much more grounded in reality take on the Joker.
Right.
Arthur starts making faces at this kid, playing peekaboo with him.
Yeah.
waving his hand across his face and changing the expression, and it makes the kid laugh.
Yeah, and I feel like that is like it's such a it's a raw like a real human experience. You see a baby and usually like you wave at them, you play peekaboo, like you see a baby and suddenly you want to entertain them for whatever reason.
Right, little kid
You're
stares
not
at
just like,
you.
"Fuck you, baby."
"Fuck you, baby." Anyway, yeah. So, the mom takes offense to this and is like, "Stop bothering my kid." And it's like, "Lady,
Yeah.
your kid was just staring at this guy. He's not doing anything wrong." Arthur bursts into the same hysterical laughter he was doing at his social worker's office, and she gets kind of freaked out, like, "You think something's funny?" And he
Right.
hands her a business card, and we see it, and it says, "Pardon my laughter. I have a medical condition/brain injury. I can't help it."
Yes. And, we assume that he's not just full of shit and that this is an actual condition. And this is actually a real condition in true life as well. This isn't just something that they made because, like, we have to make the Joker be insane. This is an actual condition. So,
Yeah, it's God, I looked at it after watching the movie. It's like pseudobulbar or
yeah,
something.
yeah, PBA.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, where individuals experience sudden, uncontrollable episodes of laughing or crying, which are often unrelated to their current emotional state. It is typically associated with other neurological conditions or brain injuries. And not that I want to start comparing myself to the Joker because what the fuck?
Ah,
But I did kind of feel for him in the sense because I know you've gotten pissed off at me. Sometimes something is not even that funny. It just like tickles a certain part of my brain and I can't stop laughing. And I'm just like, God, I hope this never happens to me one day. Someone just like gets really pissed off and I can't stop laughing. Like,
yeah.
it made me feel for him.
Well, I mean, I think everyone experiences some level of, well, maybe not everyone, but like I laugh in uncomfortable situations sometimes.
Yeah. Not like full on cackling though.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
his and Joaquin Phoenix does a very good like maniacal cackle that you would expect the Joker to do.
That's my laugh.
It is not. That's not your
No, it's
laugh.
not. It's not, but it used to be.
All right. We see Arthur stop at the pharmacy to get his army of medications, I guess.
Army of medication.
Bevy of
Yeah, I
medications?
don't know, it
Sure.
was just that was funny.
Army's worth of, I don't know. And he begins to climb some huge stairs. These stairs come up a lot in the movie. He has to go up a lot of flights of stairs to get home, and he always looks depressed and kind of trudges up them.
Yeah.
And he opens a mailbox labeled P Fleck. And I at first noticed this. P Fleck.
Like P-E-E. Like, I know what you meant, but the way you said it just made me think of P-Fleck. Anyway.
Yes, the mailbox for his mother, Penny Fleck. But we don't know his mother's Penny Fleck yet, so I thought this was another alias. I was like, oh, are they doing the thing where the Joker has multiple names? Nah, it's his mom's mailbox.
Yeah. No mail.
P Fleck.
I'm sorry, just like P-Fleck.
Well, he gets to his apartment and his mom asks him if he checked the mail, and he tells her nothing was there. He gets food ready for his mom as she's complaining that Thomas Wayne must not be getting her letters.
Right, yeah, because if he was, basically, he would save the city, only he can save the city, and if he knew how she was living, she would be saved by him, essentially, because she used to work for the Waynes,
Right.
and he would remember that.
Yeah, she is insistent that Thomas Wayne is a good man and he owes it to the city to save it.
Yeah.
Arthur doesn't have too much to say about this, and they watch Murray Franklin, which is kind of just their late night talk show host. He's very Jay Leno esque,
Yeah,
but
I would say if we were gonna compare him to a talk show host, yeah, Jay Leno.
he a little meaner. He kind of punches down.
Like Jay Leno meets Jerry Springer, not in like the sense of all the arguing and stuff, but just that like, he would sometimes like rag on his guests. Like
Yeah,
he wouldn't necessarily like, "Oh, you're on my show. Let me like he's.
yeah, and like Jay Leno made fun of people, but like the way Murray does it on in the movie seems just a tad meaner.
Yeah.
Yeah. A little more aggressive, I guess, maybe. Arthur kind of slips into this daydream that he is in the audience and he yells, "I love you, Murray." And Murray shines a spotlight on him and tells him to stand up and introduce himself. And Arthur tells Murray that his mom always believed he was there to spread joy and laughter.
Mhm.
He invites him onto the stage, and you kind of it's you kind of suspect it's an imaginary sequence at first.
Yeah.
It's not clear, but this is important because we see Murray tell Arthur that he wishes his kid was like him, and we cut back to Arthur just watching the show with his.
Right, well, it's at that point where Murray's talking to him and is like, "I'd give up all the fame to have a kid like you," and it's like, "Oh, this is in Arthur's head.
Yeah,
This isn't actually happening because who says that?"
yeah,
Yeah.
and it's sad. You kind of it gives you really just this insight into Arthur's life because in the imagination sequence, I think he tells Murray that he's been the man of the house for as long as he can remember. Didn't
Yeah.
have a dad, anything like that. We cut to work the next day, and at first I was very confused as to what Arthur did until everyone starts dressing as clowns.
Yeah,
Like this
I'm
is
like, "You just work for, like, a clown, like, temp agency?" Just
clowns
like
for hire. I think that's a real thing.
Yeah, or maybe it was. I don't know if Clowns for Hire is still around. I think you can just wear your normal people clothes and they still pay you like shit, but you don't have to wear the getup.
Well, yeah, probably. As we see Arthur changing, he's very skinny and he's bruised up all to hell from getting jumped
Yeah.
yesterday or the other day. A coworker, tells Arthur, the coworker's name is Randall. He tells Arthur, "Hey, heard about the beatdown. Are you okay?" And Arthur kind of shrugs it off. He hands Arthur a paper bag with a small gun in it.
Yeah, and you're instantly, like, kind of just shocked because you're like, "Oh boy, we don't know that much about Arthur, but we know that this is setting him up to be the Joker, and this can't be good."
From what we've seen, he sees a social worker and is on 7 medications, which is probably not the person you wanna give a gun to.
No, and Arthur says as much. He's like, "Hey, I'm not supposed to have this." And his coworker's basically like,
"Yeah, don't worry about it.
right, like,
You can
"Yeah, it's fine.
you can pay me back another time," which what?
Sir." Right.
What? So you're giving this man who shouldn't have a gun, and you're gonna use it to call in a favor later.
Right. Like,
Oof.
"Oh boy."
Arthur is called into his boss Hoyt's office by Gary. He goes in, and his boss kind of chews him out because he got a complaint about not returning the sign.
Sign, like, "What the fuck? You're going" He's like, "This man's going out of business." And I'm like, "Yeah, he's going out of business. What the hell does he need the sign for?"
Sign isn't gonna do anything.
Right, and it's like, "Your employee got jumped." And I think he says as such. I didn't write it down, but I'm pretty sure he tries to, like, explain what happened.
Yeah, Arthur says he got jumped, and his boss is like, "Doesn't make sense. I don't believe you."
Right, like, "Oh, who would do that?" And it's like, a shitty teenager, that's who would do that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
but yeah, and as his boss is just kinda, like, chewing him out, he's just, like, staring at him with this very eerie smile.
yeah,
Like,
and
he's disassociated, but he's still, like, just smiling.
yeah, he's kind of tuning it out.
Yeah.
And we hear as the boss fades out about like, "I like you, but all the other guys think you're creepy."
Yeah.
Just some like really backhanded passive aggressive shit that would not be fun to hear for anybody.
Right, which is why we find him in the next scene in an alley kicking trash bags because, like, he got chewed out by his boss, and
The
we know
sign's
he's
coming out
not,
of his
like,
paycheck.
very stable, but,
Yeah.
like, this so far, he hasn't done anything that we see is, like, super bad.
Yeah, and he hasn't harmed anyone.
Right.
He goes home again, no mail once more. He gets on the elevator. Someone yells like, "Oh, wait." So he stops the elevator with his foot, and a mother and her kid get on the elevator.
Mhm.
It gets stuck, and the woman asks Arthur if he thinks the building is awful. 'Cause
Yeah.
she something to that effect. To which her kid then begins to repeat how awful the building is over and over, and it makes the mom annoyed because it's like, "Yes, I hear you. Like, I just
Right.
said this." So she makes the motion you do sometimes when you're annoyed, where you put your fingers to your head and pretend to shoot yourself.
Right, it's like, "Oh my god, like, kill me."
Yeah. The elevator starts moving again. They get off and go their separate ways. He calls back to her and she looks and he does the motion back, the shooting himself motion.
Yeah, and it's not quite as funny as when she did it
Yeah.
because we know a little bit about him and we're like, "Oh boy, he has a gun."
Yeah, well, he also she kinda just does it. He does a full, like, head flop when he does it, like, rolls his
Yeah,
neck down, he's a little more
commits
exaggerated.
to the bit.
Yeah, and she kinda just walks off.
Right, she's like, "Okay, goodbye."
Yeah. At the apartment, mom is old and bedridden. We get the impression she can't take care of herself very well.
Right.
And that might be part of why Arthur still lives with her, but he himself is, probably unfit to live on his own. Again, we don't know. A lot of the backstory is vague. He is helping his mom take a bath, and she is once again complaining about Thomas Wayne not writing her back. She suspects the mailman is stealing the letters.
Yeah, she's convinced. She really reiterates that she thinks Thomas Wayne would help them.
Yeah, if he saw the building.
Yeah.
Arthur kinda changes the subject and says his comedy act is ready for the clubs, he's ready to be a stand-up comedian, and mom drops this line of, "Don't you have to be funny to be a comedian?" Which is like, that's fucking
Not something you wanna hear from your mom, unless
you're
they're, like, being sarcastic, but she didn't sound like she was being sarcastic.
no, this man's cooking for you, he's helping bathe you, and you can't even support his dreams.
And, he's on 7 different medications, so maybe you just give him, like, "That's nice, honey."
Right, Arthur's in, I think, the living room by himself, watching TV,
And playing with the gun.
playing with the gun. He makes imitation gunshot sounds.
He's
He
dancing with the gun.
dances with the gun. He's having an imaginary conversation where someone's like, "Wow, Arthur, you're a really good dancer."
Yeah, and he's like, "You know who's not a good dancer?" He says, "Him," and then a shot is fired at the wall,
Right, he accidentally discharges the gun.
which is like, yeah, this is another reason why, like, you don't play with guns.
Right, and we don't know how old he's supposed to be, but
Old
old
enough to
enough.
know.
Old enough. His
Yeah.
mom yells like, "Arthur, what was that?"
And he turns the TV up to, like, 99 as high as it will
He's
go.
like, "Oh, sorry, mom, just watching an old war movie." She's like, "Well, turn it down."
Yeah.
Apparently she
The
never
war movie with the single shot.
yeah. Apparently she never notices the bullet hole in the wall because it never comes
Yeah.
up again.
Never comes up again.
Yeah. The next day, Arthur plays Creeper and follows the mom from his apartment building as she drops her daughter off at school. And he's wearing his hoodie, creeps on her from the train, follows her to her job at a bank, and he looks like he wants to go into the bank,
Yeah.
but he kind of gets freaked out and walks away.
Yeah, he kinda, like, paces like he's hemming and hawing whether he wants to go through with it and just eventually decides to leave.
Yeah, nah.
He's like, you have to have a line when you're stalking somebody, and, like, I'll just draw it here."
Yeah. We later see Arthur is at a comedy show taking notes.
Yeah, which I'm like, I feel like there's some sort of, like, code, like a comedy code. You don't go to someone else's show and, like, steal their shit.
But if you look at his notes, he's not stealing the jokes. He's taking notes on the technique because he writes something like sexy jokes always land big.
Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like the sense that he's doing it is not like he's generating his own material. He's trying to take from a bunch of other people to create what he thinks will get the most laughs.
Yeah.
Like, that just seems a little
Well, it just also seems
not
like,
good.
and this comes up sometimes on TV shows where some characters trying to figure out scientifically how being funny works.
Yeah, I mean, he's laughing when no one else is, so it's
He laughs at
like
the joke setup.
yeah, yeah, and I feel like to a certain extent, we probably all do that, or you laugh at something when nobody else thinks it's funny, but it's like, no, he's missing the
He
punchline
is. He's
by like a mile. Everyone's laughing and he's not, and then he's laughing and there's not one other single like chuckle.
right. Or when everyone else starts laughing, he tries to throw in a laugh at the end, like, "Haha, I'm also laughing too."
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, He's at home reviewing his notes and he writes down this line that the worst part about having a mental illness is people expect you to behave as if you don't.
Real.
Yeah, and that's very real.
Not funny, but it's real. So
Yeah,
hopefully he's doing that for his social worker and not as his next stand-up
yeah.
routine.
Well, he puts a little smiley face in the O,
This is true.
you know, for funsies.
For
For
funsies.
funsies. He gets a knock at the apartment door, and it's the mom. We later learn her name is Sophie. I can't remember them ever saying it.
Yeah, no, I didn't even know that was her name until I went to the, like, movie page, and I'm like, Sophie." I don't remember it ever coming up.
Yeah. She asks if he was following her today, and he immediately folds and was like, "Yeah."
Right.
And she makes a joke, is like, "Man, I was hoping you'd come in and rob the place." To which he replies, "Well, I have a gun. I could do it tomorrow." And she thinks he's joking.
Yeah.
And it's like, "Ah, you're funny." And he's like, "I do comedy. You should come see."
Right.
And she says she will. Cut to Arthur doing his clown job at a children's hospital, playing if you're happy and you know it, clamp.
If you're happy and you know it, clamp your hands
Yeah, clamp your hands.
together multiple times. Might sound a little bit like clapping.
Yeah, if you do it fast enough. He actually seems to be okay at this. The children are having a good
Oh,
time.
yeah, everybody's smiling.
He's not the worst clown when
Right,
he's
no.
not getting mugged until he stomps his feet and his gun falls out of his pants in the
Yeah.
children's hospital.
Yeah.
And so he scrambles to pick it up, and the mood in the room has completely dropped, obviously.
Yeah.
Freaks out.
Which is, understandable. It's like, that
Yeah.
sucks, but you can't really
He tries to
do that.
yeah, he tries to claim it was a prop.
Because
Boss
why the fuck would a clown have a prop gun?
for
Like,
the children's hospital.
right?
Apparently Randall ratted him out and told his boss, "Oh yeah, he's been asking if he could buy a gun off me."
Yeah, which is like, Randall, that's such bullshit.
Yeah. As the call drops, Arthur headbutts the phone booth glass and it cracks.
Yeah,
So he did it really hard.
right.
He is on the subway, still dressed as a clown, and we see three very stereotypical finance dude bros get on the car.
Yes, if you've ever seen the menu, they look exactly like those finance dude bros. So there's just, an outfit that all of the movie studios share. They always have to have three dude bros in finance, and it
Yeah.
just gets passed around. So they look exactly like that.
They start harassing a girl on the subway sitting across from them.
Typical finance dude bros.
Exactly. They ask her if she wants some french fries, and she kind of ignores them at first, and they start being like, "Hey, he's just being nice. Why are you ignoring him?" Looks like it could be bad until Arthur
I mean, it
has
already is
it's
bad.
it's
Like,
it's
she's
very
very
bad.
clearly not interested. Leave her the fuck alone.
Right. They're
Like, she's not there to entertain you. You, like, are owed nothing.
yeah, but it looks like it's gonna take a turn for the worse because
Yeah,
they're intent on continuing to bother her until Arthur has his laughing fit.
right.
And the lights on the subway are flickering on and off, and it's creepy. But the woman takes that time to get up and leave the car and go to
Right,
another
and of
car.
course the guys are like, "Bitch."
Right, of course. And then they're mad at him because I'm sure in their minds, if they bothered that woman enough, she would have slept with one of them.
Right, yeah, because what always gets women going is drunk men throwing french fries at them. Like, we can't resist.
60% of the time it works every
But yeah, no, they're mad, and they probably have tiny pee-pee energy and think Arthur's, like, laughing at them
Yeah.
for basically, like, not landing this girl in their minds.
Yeah, and Arthur's clearly trying to stop, and
Yeah,
they keep asking him what's so funny, you think something's funny? And one of the drunk guys starts singing "Send in the Clowns" at him very
right.
badly. As they get closer, they take his wig off, and he tries to give them his card.
Right, the same card that he had given the woman with the child on
Yeah,
the
but
train
they
or
slap it out of his
bus.
hands.
Right, yeah, they're like, "Fuck that, I can't read."
Right, so they just start beating him up.
Yeah, no, like, and intently, this is not the same, as the teenagers in the alley.
Yeah, they're even more pissed off.
They're gonna I really thought, like, from the context that they were going to kill him
He must
or
have
badly injure him. He was gonna end up in, like, critical care.
Well, he must have thought that too, because he shoots one of them in the head.
Yeah, he starts shooting. He kills 2 of the guys, and
Yes.
then he chases the 3rd off the train, and they
Well,
kinda do this, like
he shot the 3rd guy in the ass.
okay, he shoots the 3rd guy in the ass, and then he chases him off the train.
That's important because he's clutching his ass as he limps
Yes,
away.
I apparently missed the ass clutching. Um,
It's pivotal to the movie.
and he shoots him as well, and you kinda think like, "Okay, we could maybe write this off as self-defense," and then he empties the clip.
Well, I think it stops being self-defense when he chases the guy off the train.
Right, but you're still like, "Okay, maybe, like, maybe depending on how a judge would see you can't empty the clip. You can't empty the clip and be like, "It was self-defense, your honor." Like,
Right.
that man was turned away from you, you shot him in the back. So,
Multiple
yeah,
times.
so there goes that. So he's gonna be in a slew of trouble if he's caught.
Yeah. He starts running through the streets of Gotham just in a panic, as, you'd expect. He gets
Yeah,
to a public restroom somewhere that's filthy and disgusting looking and has a flickering light. None of the lights in Gotham work, the way they're supposed to. And he starts dancing.
yup, he sure does.
He starts doing a slow interpretive dance.
Yeah, like, very, like, ballet-esque.
Yeah. As he finishes his dance, we see him rush back home to his apartment building and open the door to Sophie's apartment, and they just start making out.
Right, and you're like, "Oh, okay," like, he's feeling high off of that.
Right. Now that some of the adrenaline's worn off, he feels real good. He shows up at the clown for hire office to clean out his locker, and everyone's kind of asking him about like, why did you have a gun? What were you thinking?
Yeah.
And he loudly just tells all of them, like, it was Randall's. You should ask him about it.
Right.
And Randall gets pissed off. It's like, well, why'd you give him a gun then?
Right, yeah, like, "Oh, the consequences of your actions."
Right. And as he goes to leave, he says, forgot to punch out. And he punches the clock in machine off the wall.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then he crosses off the "forget to" on a sign that's above the stairs. It says, "Don't forget to smile," and so he crosses it off so that it reads, "Don't smile."
Yeah.
You're like, "Oh, he's big mad."
Yeah. We cut to him at home. We kind of see him
No,
dumping
wait,
out.
we don't, do we?
No, I thought we did. Because this is where Thomas Wayne is on TV.
Maybe I didn't take notes about that. Anyway.
Well, we see him back at home. He dumps out what looks to be his last two pills on the table. So you get the impression he's starting to run low on his meds.
Mm,
And we see Thomas Wayne on TV, and his mom's, of course, very excited about this. He's talking about the subway murders, and he's talking to this interviewer he calls the less fortunate of Gotham clowns because they never made anything of themselves.
it's like, "Oh, yeah, this is the guy we're gonna have for mayor."
Yeah.
Yeah, you can, kind of infer from that, like, he's just another rich asshole.
Yeah, which is not usually how Thomas Wayne is portrayed, but I'll get into more on that like after our recap.
Will you?
Yeah, just a little.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Thomas Wayne kind of finishes, like I said, calls the less fortunate of Gotham clowns and says that the killer was a coward. And as they cut away from this, Arthur laughs and his mom scolds him, like, Arthur, that's not funny.
Right.
And it's like, you know about his condition.
You would think.
Yeah, you'd think. He's back with his social worker and he's talking about a singer with the same name as his clown name, which is Carnival.
Right, and she's like, "Yeah, that's nice. Anyway, I have bad news."
Yeah. And he goes off on her. It's like, you don't actually listen to me.
Right,
I come in here every week and you ask me the same questions. You don't hear, I just said, I don't know if for my whole life I even existed,
right.
but now I do. And I feel like people are starting to notice me.
And again, she's like, "Yes, yes, very sad. Anyway, the city is cutting funding, so this is our last meeting." And
Right.
he's like, "Well, how am I supposed to get my medication?" And I think the implication here is that he won't.
Yeah. She kind of just apologizes.
Right.
There's nothing she can do about it. Arthur is now about to go do stand up.
Right, like on the stage.
Yeah,
He's performing.
he's backstage getting ready to be called up at this comedy club and he's called out to perform. He gets on stage and just starts his hysterical laughter.
Yeah, and we see Sophie's in the audience as well, so his neighbor is there.
Yeah. He can't get a sentence out and I was wondering if maybe this was a side effect of like not having his medication anymore as if this got worse.
Yeah.
He tells a story, barely able to tell a story about hating school that you can barely interpret. And his mom says, "Well, you should enjoy it. One day you'll have to work for a living." And he finishes with, "No, I won't, Mom. I'm going to be a comedian." We see the camera kind of curve behind him as he goes into his set, and we don't get to hear it. A song starts playing from the soundtrack,
Yeah.
and we hear applause
Right,
from
we hear the audience, and it sounds like they're laughing at him.
right, like he was able to continue and actually, perform his set.
Right.
And we later see him out with Sophie as they walk around after his set, and they see a newspaper um, in a newsstand, so you can see the headline about the killer clown from the subway murder. And she says over his shoulder, like literally in his ear, that she thinks that the guy's a hero.
Right, yeah, that's what she says. And then they're at a diner, and it just seems like he had a really good night. That's the way that it appears to us.
Yes. As he gets back home, the Murray Franklin show is ending, and his mom fell asleep. So he kind of tells her to get up. It's time to go to bed. So he helps her out, and he's out of her chair, and he starts dancing around with her. He's like, "I had a
Yeah.
great night, Mom. I had a date. How you doing?" And she's kind of like, "Yes, yes, that's nice. Please mail my latest wet letter to Thomas Wayne out."
Yeah, she's like, "The ladder!"
So Arthur picks it up and opens the letter and reads it. And this is where we learn, or at this point in the movie, are led to believe that Arthur is Thomas Wayne's illegitimate son.
Yes, Thomas Wayne and Mom had some sort of affair,
Dalliance,
and,
a tryst, maybe.
and this is how Arthur was born. So I guess in a sense now we have that sort of like aha for why Mom has been writing so many letters.
Right.
And also probably why she has not been employed with the Waynes family.
Right. She used to work for them. That's why she has so much faith in them,
Yeah.
supposedly. It's the next morning, and Mom has shut herself in her room and locked it, and they're yelling at each other. Says she won't talk to Arthur until he stops being angry. So he calms down, asks her if this is real, and she says yes, that she had to hide their affair and sign papers to keep quiet because you know what people would say if they knew about me and him. You know what people would say if they knew about you.
Right, right.
Yeah. Um,
The next day, he is on a train and he has a newspaper and he rips out a photo of Thomas's family.
yep.
And so that's, of course, Thomas, his wife, and little Bruce. And we see him now standing outside the Wayne residence, and he has like a clown nose that he puts on, and he's like walking around the fence near where Bruce Wayne is playing.
On a little play
Little
area,
playscape.
like
So
with a
like
little
the
like climb
fence
up
is
court.
really high, but he can see Bruce and Bruce can see him because of like the height.
Yeah. And so he walks over to this iron bar gate.
Yes. And he mimics a magic trick where he's essentially trying to open the gate and he talks to Bruce and he makes him smile.
Like actually puts his thumbs in Bruce's mouth and
Yeah,
forces
yes,
him
yeah.
to smile.
Yes, not
Bruce
like
does
he
not smile of his own
Bruce,
accord.
yeah, Bruce is like, "I'm gonna be Batman one day. Don't understand humor." But
Bruce is already humorless and his parents are still alive.
right, so, he's always been brooding. But, yes, no, he literally makes him smile.
Yeah.
And then Alfred shows up, a young Alfred, not the Alfred that we have always known.
Well, yeah, with this British butler who is in the credits as Alfred. 'Cause
Who the fuck else would it
that was what I was gonna be like. Who the fuck could this guy be? His British butler.
They only ever have British butlers. They're not allowed to have any other butler. If a butler's not British, he's not legit.
Yeah, Alfred pulls Bruce away and kind of goes off, and Arthur introduces himself. And this is important because I a few things kind of muddy the waters about certain things later. Alfred recognizes the name Pennyfleck immediately.
Yeah, and he's like, "I don't know who that is."
No, because when Arthur says, "I want to see Thomas Wayne," he's like, "No, your mother was delusional." Like he doesn't have to think like Penny Fleck. Who the fuck?
Well, edit that out then. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Like there is no hesitation that Alfred knows exactly who Penny Fleck is and knows to tell Arthur, "Your mom's delusional." Uh, everything she's told you is garbage. Arthur reaches through the iron gate and chokes Alfred for a few seconds, just through the gate.
Which Bruce is witnessing.
Yeah, Bruce is watching the whole thing, and even he's a kid at this point. He's not Batman yet. He's a little freaked out by this, rightfully so. Which is it's kind of funny because usually in most depictions, Alfred's pretty badass himself. I'm surprised he just let this skinny dude choke him.
Right.
Like he's usually retired from the military, like the British military, doing
Right,
something.
yeah.
Again, he was probably caught unaware.
And he was younger, so who knows, maybe the training came
Maybe
at
he's
some point
maybe he's been
later.
buttling for a few years, and those
Butlin.
things are rusty.
Is it Butlin? Is that the
Buttle
correct buttling?
You butler. People who buttle are butlers.
So is it buttling or buttling? Because buttling sounds like
Butlings.
some monster that comes out of your ass. Like, it's a little, you have your, like, buttling, darling, your buttling, like, you're just. Anyway,
Anyway, Arthur goes home.
and his mom, as he's getting there, is being carried out by an ambulance.
Yeah.
She's not being carried. The ambulance, let me be clear, the ambulance is outside, parked in front of the apartment. The medics are carrying her out into the ambulance. This is still reality.
The ambulance is holding mom and its tires like, oh no. I don't know why it sounds like that.
Suddenly we've entered Toontown. Anyway, yeah. So mom is being carried out into the ambulance.
Yes. So Arthur gets in the back with them, and the paramedics are mad, like, because
Yeah, he's like, oh, I'm the son. Oh,
yeah, like they're mad they got to deal with a family member.
right.
So
We gotta actually take this one to the hospital. We can't just mark her DOA.
yeah, outside the hospital, Arthur's having a smoke, and some detectives.
While they're taking us.
He's having a track. That's the song, not the Joker by the Steve Miller Band, which I quoted.
You did,
That's
yeah.
the song you sang.
I probably just sang it wrong too. Oh well.
It was good enough. Outside the hospital, the detectives approach Arthur. They have some questions about the subway clown killer because the first person they look at are clowns, and Arthur was a clown.
Right, and they were at his apartment to talk to him, and he wasn't there. So then the mom answered the phone, answered the door, and so they were talking to her about it.
And she had a stroke.
She had a stroke. So Arthur is now mad at the detectives and, is basically blaming them for the medical emergency.
Yeah. They ask Arthur about why he got fired and about the gun. He tells them it was a prop. They're like, well, then why'd they fire you? He's like, because they said I wasn't funny enough.
Right.
You believe that? And then he goes back inside, like, excuse me, I have to take care of my mom. She's in the hospital.
Yeah, but he flicks his cigarette, like, fuck you guys, like, I'm out of here, like, he's too cool for school, and then smacks into the door because it's an exit only.
Yeah.
So he's like, he does this really, like, fuck you guys, I gotta go take care of my mom, and then smacks into the door, and it's like, oh, buddy.
Right. In the hospital, Sophie is sitting next to him, telling Arthur that his mom's going to be okay. She's going to go get a cup of coffee, asks if he wants one. He says yes. As she leaves, the Murray Franklin show is playing, and they play a clip from his act. And at first, they play the clip that we saw of his laughter at the beginning of the act, which we know went bad. Then they play another clip from later in the act where we found out, no, the whole set was bad.
Right.
The applause was all in his head.
Yeah.
He imagined the set going well.
Right. And it's like, I love when movies do that, when they give us an unreliable protagonist.
I love it.
It's so good because we really are led to believe, like, oh man, he killed that. No, he didn't.
Right. It's the same as when he was imagining being on the show earlier. It was all in his head. We just didn't get the reveal right away like we did the first time. Arthur goes home and he sees on the news a story about now people are protesting Thomas Wayne, and they're doing so dressed as clowns because he called them all clowns, which I think is very clever. And it's completely understandable that, the people who aren't rich assholes are going to protest this rich asshole running for mayor.
Right, we're not condoning, like, murder, but we're also not rooting for Thomas Wayne.
No, this is probably the worst iteration of Thomas Wayne. Maybe not. I'm not caught up on all 80 years of Batman comics. So it's probably not. We cut to the protest. People are protesting outside of a movie theater where Thomas Wayne is watching a movie, presumably with his family. And Arthur uses this protest to sneak in as cops start inciting violence, as they always do. Fuck the police.
Yeah.
But Arthur doesn't care. He just wants to get answers. And once inside the theater, he steals a bellhop, or maybe not bellhop, those are hotels.
Usher.
Usher. He steals an usher uniform and
Yeah,
sneaks
yeah.
in.
No, sorry. As I do a not Usher impression, I am killing
Yes.
this episode, guys. It's going so good.
There's a lot of death in this movie. It makes sense you'd kill it. Arthur, as dressed as an usher, goes in. He's watching. Everyone in here is watching a Charlie Chaplin movie, which it's 1981.
Yeah, I still watch like black and white
Okay,
movies.
yeah, fair enough.
I don't know, like you'd do that sometimes. We would go to that one theater and they always have like the orchestra and stuff. Like it's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's fair. Arthur sees Thomas Wayne get up to go to the bathroom, so he goes to ambush Thomas Wayne in the bathroom. Arthur introduces himself as Thomas Wayne is washing his hands.
He introduces himself, comma, as Thomas Wayne is washing his hands.
Thomas Wayne is washing his own
He
hands.
does not introduce himself as Thomas Wayne.
He introduces himself to Thomas Wayne as Thomas Wayne washes Thomas Wayne's hands. I can't make that any more clear. I can't. Thomas already knows what this is about. He immediately denies being Arthur's father. He tells Arthur that Penny adopted him. Your mom was committed to Arkham when you were a little boy. And Arthur kind of just goes off like, why are you being so fucking mean to me?
Yeah.
Thomas Wayne is a dick, but at the same time, all Thomas Wayne knows of this guy is you showed up to my house,
You put your
hand
dirty fingers in my
son's
kid's mouth.
and tried to kill my butler. So Thomas punches him and says, if you touch my son again, I'm gonna fucking kill you.
Yeah, and I didn't mean to laugh there either, but when you were like, you're adopted, have you ever seen those LA Turtle videos?
Yes.
Yeah, that's when you said that, that's just my brain went there, so I'm like laughing, not about anything going on with Arthur and his troubles, but just about
Yeah.
the vine.
As Arthur gets home, we hear a voicemail playing on the answering machine, but those detectives from the Gotham Police Department have more questions for him. Please call us back. He doesn't call them back. He takes all the shelves and drawers out of the refrigerator and just climbs inside.
Yeah, I was like, that's a choice. Most people choose like a little cubby or closet. But why
Yeah.
are we in the fridge? What's
Uh,
going on there?
well, he is openly suicidal.
And the fridge would accomplish that? I don't know. I've never shut myself in a fridge.
I don't know.
I was like, you speaking from past experience?
No.
You okay? Are you okay?
Anyway, he gets another call. It is someone from the Franklin Murray show or the Murray Franklin show. I think I keep swapping the names. My bad.
It's Murray.
Yeah.
His show's calling.
Murray calls. They want Arthur on the show. He's very stunned by this, but he agrees.
Yeah, but it's like his dream.
Yeah. Even though we, as the viewer, know, well, they don't want you on there because you killed it.
Yeah, no, you're going on there and they're gonna make fun of you.
We see him on the train again as he goes up to the Arkham State Hospital, and he is trying to obtain his mom's records. And the clerk says old records are kept in the basement. I had to dig through because this is from 30 years ago. Arthur asks, like, hey, is everyone who's in here, have they hurt somebody? And the clerk's like, well, no. Some of them are a danger to themselves and others, but they haven't necessarily hurt people. Some of them are just here because they have to be. I don't know.
Yeah, he's like, I'm just the clerk, man.
Arthur kind of confesses that, like, he's like, I fucked up and did some bad shit. To which the clerk again says, I am just a clerk. You should talk to somebody about
Right,
this.
like we have people you can talk to, man. I can't help you with that. So he looks through the mom's file and it says that she has severe psychosis and narcissism and that she was found guilty of endangering the life of her child. To which the clerk reading this is like,
Oh,
didn't
wait,
you
that's
say
you.
Right, didn't you say you were her kid? So Arthur's like, give me that file, man. And he's like, no. So then they're like fighting over it.
Right, Arthur
And
reaches in and starts trying
yeah,
to pull the file.
right, like through that little like opening that like
You-
is
you
in
s-
Windows.
and
Yeah,
gotta
you slide
your
paper.
ID in.
he slides his hands in there and they're fighting over it. He rips it from the clerk's hands and just speeds off down the hallway. No orderlies stopping him. There's no
No.
security. Like I'm watching this and I'm like, no wonder he's always able to break out of that damn hospital. Like no one's there to stop him. Who's running this place?
There's the joke that the door on Arkham Asylum is just a revolving one.
Yeah.
Just go right back around. In the stairwell, once he kind of realizes, oh yeah, it's shitty here. No one's chasing me. He
Yeah.
opens the file and reads it. He sees newspaper articles, adoption forms, and we kind of see him imagining his mom talking to a doctor where his mom insists that, this is stuff he's reading too, that Thomas Wayne faked all this.
Yeah.
Like no, like Thomas Wayne like is my son's father. I didn't adopt him, but there's all these articles and whatnot. So Arthur, fully believes, yeah, my mom's a liar. And at one point, as words are flying past the screen, I swear to God, the word lobotomy came up.
Potentially. We also see that like he was abused.
Yeah, when the cops came to the apartment, mom's boyfriend had beaten both of them so bad. Arthur had severe head trauma and was found tied to a radiator.
Right, which would be on par with his condition.
Yeah. I mean, he suffered head trauma at a young age, and that would explain a lot.
Yes. And then not related to the movie necessarily, but as we're watching this because we paused it and then we hit play again, rated R for smoking? Is that it? Because at this point we've seen blood and guts. Like rated R for smoking. Really HBO, that's what we're doing.
And it gets worse, and we'll get to it. Arthur goes back to, and at this point, I kind of saw this part coming, but Arthur goes back to his apartment building and he goes into Sophie's apartment. We see him kind of run his hand over everything.
Yeah, like the drawings and stuff that her daughter has done.
Yeah.
So that I think tells us like this is not his.
Right. He sits on the couch, and when Sophie comes in and tells her daughter goodnight, she goes to the living room and she sees Arthur there and she freaks out.
Yeah, she's like, hey, this isn't your apartment.
Hey, you went in the wrong apartment. Your name's Arthur, right? And we get the reveal that he never had a relationship.
Right, like they probably didn't. I was doubting if they had interacted at all, like even in the elevator. Like if he had imagined that whole thing.
Right. She knows enough to know that he is not all there,
Yeah.
and his name is probably Arthur. And that, she's like, well, can I get your mom? Like, do you need your mom? Do you want me to go get your mom? Like, so she probably knows that's the weird guy down the hall who lives with his mom.
Yeah, the landlord sent out a letter.
Maybe. So, and we kind of go back to all the time that they'd spent together after his comedy show, her being at the hospital with him. None of that was real. That was just him coping. So when she is trying to get him out of her apartment, he kind of looks at her and does the shooting himself motion again
Right.
and gets up and leaves.
Yeah.
He
He sure does.
doesn't hurt them, but we get that just confirmation that a lot of what we've seen might not have even happened.
Yeah, likely that it didn't.
He goes back to his apartment and he is sobbing, like doing his hysterical laugh, but sobbing at the same time on the couch.
Yeah, and the neighbor's like, hey!
Yeah, we hear the neighbor yell,
Stop
shut
that."
up.
Like,
It's great.
that's real.
Yeah. Back at the hospital, Arthur is talking to his mom, who's still bedridden from her stroke, and he's calling her Penny now. He is not even calling her mom.
Yeah, he's mad.
Yeah, he's mad.
And that's solidified when he grabs a pillow and suffocates her.
Yep. He says, I always thought my life was a tragedy. It's a fucking comedy. And then she dies.
And then she dies.
And she's dead.
So then he starts watching different talk shows and practicing how to behave and make an entrance in preparation for being on the Murray Show.
Yeah.
Takes a dark turn when he says, do you want to hear a joke? And then he practices shooting himself.
Yeah.
Like makes that gesture. So we're like, oh boy, he's gonna do some crazy shit when he's a guest.
Right. He plans on killing himself on the Murray Show
Yeah.
as kind of his ultimate punchline. He's getting ready for this. He dyes his hair green. He's dancing in the apartment bathroom. He applies
Yeah.
his white face for his clown makeup.
Right, and he, we assume he's definitely stopped taking his medication at this point, or it's run out.
Yeah. As he's applying his makeup, he's in his mom's room. He finds a photo of her.
Mhm.
On the back is written, "I love your smile, TW."
Right, so clearly, whether Thomas Wayne is his dad or not, there was something definitely going on with mom. It wasn't just in her head that they had this, like, thing.
Right. And I've seen a few theories that mom could have written that herself
Uh,
because she's delusional, or
fair.
it could range anywhere from mom was crazy and wrote that herself because she believed the same way he thought he was in a relationship with Sophie, she thought she was in a relationship with Thomas Wayne, all the way to Thomas Wayne had her lobotomized so that it didn't come out he had an illegitimate child.
Right.
All of which is possible, and we're never gonna know the answer
Right,
because of
right,
the nature of the Joker himself.
right.
But it does, muddy the waters on who is right and who's wrong, or who's being truthful and who's not. But either way, everyone involved has been shitty to Arthur.
Right, he's kind of caught in the middle.
Right, he was still found beaten and tied to a radiator. So,
Yeah.
anyway, as he's getting ready and he's just in his white face, he hasn't finished all his clown makeup. Two of the guys he used to work with, Randall, who was the one who gave Arthur a gun, and Gary, the person who called Arthur into his boss's office, show up to check on Arthur because they were concerned about him.
Right, yeah, you just assume, like, okay, these guys are just showing up as friends.
Yeah,
And
until
then yeah, and then they start asking about the murders, and you kind of I made the assumption that maybe the detectives had kind of been like, "Hey,
you go
can you
talk to
go
him.
talk to him and get the truth?
Yeah,
Maybe he'll talk to you guys because he knows you."
yeah. And it's important to note here, when they come inside, Arthur shuts the door and does the chain lock.
Yes, and he's also clenching scissors
Yes.
in his hand.
Yes, he is. He does the chain lock. He locks them inside with him. And Randall starts asking, "Hey, the cops were coming around, wanted to know about the gun I gave you. I was thinking maybe we should have our stories straight."
Yeah,
Because he doesn't want to be implicated in anything either.
right.
But it's kind of becomes clear Randall's not here as a friend. Randall's here to cover his own ass.
Yeah.
And at this point, you wanna tell it?
I mean, I
'Cause
guess
it
I
was very
can.
abrupt.
Yeah, he just stabs him in the neck with the scissors.
Yes.
And the other coworker, Gary, he, like, runs to the corner,
Sobbing.
sobbing and asking him why. Then he sits on the floor.
Well, Ar
Gary does.
yeah, and as he's watching, as Arthur grabs Randall's head, and Randall might already be dead at this point, but
Right.
if he wasn't, he is now because Arthur's just bashing his head against the wall.
Yeah, he's for sure done.
Yeah, there's a bloody
There's
smear.
no yeah, there's no coming back from that.
Oh.
There's a lot of blood splatters. I almost said smatter. Anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, and then he's like, "Hey Gary, you watch the Murray show?
Yeah.
'Cause I'm gonna be on tonight." And he's like, "Crazy, isn't it?" Like, he does his, like, Cockney accent.
Yeah,
He's cracked.
Gar
Yeah, Gary's like, "'Kay."
well, Gary says what we're all thinking, which is, "What the fuck, Arthur?"
Yeah. And he's like, "Gary, get on out of here. Like, I'm not gonna hurt you." So Gary, like, runs to the door.
But Arthur jump scares him as
Yeah,
he walks past, he's like, "Boo," like he's gonna
right, like, he's just having fun with this, and then Gary can't get out because he's not able to reach the lock,
Yeah.
and, he has to ask Arthur for help. So Arthur helps him open the door, and then he's like, "You were always nice to me." And that basically is like, "I'm not gonna kill you.
"Get on
You
outta
you
here, you"
you scamp."
yeah, "Get on outta here, chief, champ."
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah, "Get on out of here, champ."
Yeah. So Arthur is now fully dressed as the Joker,
Yeah,
face
green
paint and all.
hair, yeah.
We see the stairs that he had to walk up to get to his apartment. He is now dancing down them. This was a very iconic shot from all the trailers as
Yes.
he dances his way down the stairs while smoking. And towards the end of the dance, the detectives are at the top of the stairs watching him. They're
Yeah.
like, "What are you doing?"
Right, they're like, "Hey, we need to talk." So then he just takes off.
He runs, which, not a good look.
Right.
If they weren't suspicious before, they're gonna be
They're
now.
definitely suspicious now,
Yeah.
yeah.
As he flees, he gets run over by a cab and, like, flips onto the windshield, rolls off, hits the ground, rolls up, and keeps running. He's
Yeah.
going. He manages to make it onto a train. The detectives do as well, but being on the train is horrible for the detectives because everyone on this train is dressed as a clown
Yeah.
for a clown rally.
Yeah, they're all going to, a protest,
Yeah.
essentially, against Thomas Wayne.
Yeah, who has officially announced his run for mayor.
Right. So what this does though is it gives Arthur a chance to get onto the next cart of the train. So the cops really have to like work through the crowd to try and get to where Arthur is.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are wearing clown masks, not like the full makeup that Arthur is. So he takes a mask from someone and like in doing so bumps into another person. So a fight kind of breaks out over it.
Yeah.
And then there's a fight, there's a struggle with a gun that the detective has. He's like yelling at everyone to back up.
Right.
So, there's all
Waving his
this
gun around to try and intimidate the crowd.
right, because he's a cop.
Yeah.
And so then there's the struggle and he shoots someone or someone dies in the struggle.
A protester dies.
So then at that point you kind of get the sense of like, oh, this dude's fucked.
Yeah, the whether this rally was going to be a peaceful protest or not, once the protester gets shot, it becomes a riot,
Oh yeah.
and these people beat the ever-loving shit out of the detectives, to which Arthur gets off the train and throws away the clown mask he stole, and he is happy as a clam.
Yeah, he does like a little jig at the cops.
Yeah, he's like,
Yeah,
yeah, very, very thrilled.
just like that.
Yeah.
And he runs off.
Yeah. He is backstage at the Murray show watching a news story about the cops being in critical condition.
But
Uh,
stable.
Stable, but, very in bad shape. Still thrilled about it. And he finally meets Murray with an assistant there. Murray's like, "Hey, you think this look is really a good thing to do with the protest? Is this a political statement?" And Arthur's like, "Oh, no, I don't believe in any of that.
Right,
I'm
he's
not
like,
political."
"Nah, I'm just dressed like this."
Yeah. So Murray says, "Look, we're gonna do a clean show, no cursing, family friendly, don't work blue." And Arthur's like, "Yep, that's fine. One request: introduce me as Joker."
Right.
And I was like, "Well, that's what you called me when you played my clip." And Murray doesn't remember any of this, but it's like, "Yeah, all right, whatever." Yeah, yeah. So Arthur's not the first guest. So we see Murray on stage. He's talking to someone named Dr. Sally, who's supposed to be a sex therapist.
And we see that Arthur still has the gun on him.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
he is ready. He fully plans on going through with his live on air suicide.
Right.
But then we see Murray replays the clip of Arthur bombing the comedy gig. Dr. Sally, he tells the sex therapist that this guy probably could use a doctor. And she's like, "Does he have sexual problems?" And he's like, "He's probably got lots of problems." It's like,
Yeah, like
he can
they're
hear you.
right, like he's literally just right there waiting to come on stage. Like he can hear you.
Yeah. Joker is introduced. He dances out, does some twirls.
It's a good entrance as
It's
far
a
as
hell of an
talk shows
entrance.
go.
Yeah. He, like, makes out with this little old lady sex therapist,
Right.
like, against her will. She is not thrilled by this.
No.
Maybe that was to get back at her for saying, like, the sex problems things. I don't know. We don't know. This could just be him fucking losing it.
Yeah.
So, Murray first asks about the clown makeup, again, if this is a political statement, and he says, "Nope, just wanna make people laugh." So Murray asks how that's going, and we get like a little laugh from the crowd, and Murray asks for a new joke.
Yeah, Murray's like, "Hey, why don't you tell us a joke?" So Arthur takes out his notebook and he opens it to a page where he's writing about his mental health and he like flips away from it. And then he says, "Knock knock." And like when he said knock knock, I was just like, "Oh god." Like here it comes.
Oh no.
And Murray and the guests are, like, laughing at him, clearly, not, they're not intending to, like, laugh at the joke. They're laughing at Arthur,
Yeah.
not at what he's saying. So he confesses to killing the Wall Street guys,
Yep.
and Murray's like, "Alright, what's the punchline?" And Arthur says, "It's not a joke."
Right. Where he's like, "You're serious?" He's like, "Yeah, I have nothing left to lose."
Yeah, he's like, "I think killing those guys is funny, and I'm done pretending it's not."
Yeah, which is a very memed line.
Yes.
Like that exchange has been memes for a long time. Like, you think blank is funny? Yes, I'm tired of pretending it's not.
Right.
He goes on a little speech about comedy being subjective.
Yeah, he was like, "Comedy is subjective, Murray."
Yeah,
Oh,
and like he makes this speech about, he didn't kill those guys to do any sort of statement. He just killed them because they were awful.
yeah, and it's like, I had to keep in my mind, like, this is the Joker. Like,
Yeah.
this is a bad this is a villain, but, I loved this scene. I feel like it resonates a lot with society and, like, a us versus them sort of mentality, and he tells Murray, like, "You think that we won't werewolf and go wild?" And he tells Murray he's awful.
Yeah. Which Murray should have gotten the hint that the last people he called awful were dead.
Right, like, why would you invite this guy on your show just to make fun of him? I don't understand the point of it,
And he
but
keeps it going. He
yeah.
doesn't cut or try to get security out. He keeps interviewing this guy. He's probably thinking about ratings.
Right, it kind of reminded me, you know what, I'm not gonna say that because 'cause we're a little itty bitty show and I don't wanna get sued. I will not say the talk show that it reminds me of, I will tell you that later.
All right, honey.
But, yeah, he calls Murray out for inviting him on the show to make fun of him.
Yeah. Like, you didn't want me here because you liked anything I did. You just wanted to treat me like shit.
Right.
So he's like, I've got one more joke for you.
Murray's like, "We're done with jokes, call the cops."
But Joker just keeps going. He's like, what do you get? Or do you want to say the line?
No, you can say
Okay.
it.
What do you get when you cross a mentally ill loner with a society who abandons him and treats him like trash? You get what you fucking deserve. And he pulls out his gun and shoots Murray in the head on live TV, and it's very graphic.
Yeah, I literally was like, "Gasp." And I think that that bait and switch was fantastic because you think he's got the gun because he's been, we've been seeing him practice like unaliving himself. And then he kills Murray. And it's like, "Oh,
Yeah. The audience is screaming and trying to
yeah, there's
leave.
panic."
Yeah. The sex therapist has passed out on the other guest, and he shoots Murray again
Yeah,
for good measure. Double tap. He watched Zombieland. Uh
sure.
Sure. And he just kinda sits back. He doesn't try to flee or anything. He's made his point. No, he goes up to the camera and he says Murray's closing line for the show
Before they cut the
before, yeah,
yeah.
they cut before he can finish saying it.
Yeah. So he is all over the news.
Oh, yeah.
And he's now being called Joker. So that's just gonna be his moniker now. He's sticking with it.
Yeah. That's who he is, and that's what they're committing to.
That's what he's all about.
Is arrested. We see him being driven around in a cop car as Gotham burns. There is a
Per
riot.
usual.
Yeah, Gotham's doing pretty bad in most media anyway.
Clowns are running amok.
Amok, amok, amok. Everyone saw him kill Marie in cold blood, and his statement has resonated with the protesters. We see cars burning, looting, just the city is in shambles, and Joker's loving it. This cop's like, "How can you be so happy?" And he's like, "Oh, it's beautiful."
Right. He's like, "Stop laughing. You caused this." And then, in like a very Fast and Furious esque way, an ambulance smashes into the cop car, and we see it's being driven by a clown. So they intentionally did this to save the Joker, and they pull him out of the squad
Yep.
car.
And they carry him onto the hood of the cop car. And as they do this, we see Thomas, Martha, and Bruce Wayne leaving a movie theater having seen Zorro.
Yeah, I was like, "What is that? Why is that important?" Because I don't know the Batman lore. I love
Yeah.
Batman, but like I don't know his origin story.
So they were seeing Zorro the Gay Blade, which was a Zorro movie that was released in the 80s. But if any, to follow Batman lore, in the 40s when Batman was originated, the Waynes were seeing a Zorro movie on the night the Waynes were murdered. So you get
No.
the impression, uh-oh, I know what's happening. And we do. The Waynes are trying to get away from the riot, so they go down an alley, which is probably a better justification for why they're in that alley than most other media has. Um, because the main roads are overcome with rioters. But a clown masked person follows them into the alley, calls out for the Waynes, and as Thomas Wayne turns around, the rioter says, "You get what you fucking deserve," and shoots the Waynes. So, fun fact: usually in most media, the person who kills the Waynes is named Joseph Chill.
Joseph,
Joseph Chill,
chill.
Joe Chill.
It's not that serious.
Joe Chill, it's not worth it. But we don't know if that is Joe Chill or if this adaptation of Joseph Chill is just, inspired by the Joker, but it's just very usually I say usually the Joker has no impact on Batman's origin story. Usually he comes after Batman. So this being an
Mm.
alternate universe, it's a very interesting take. Except for the that time Jack Nicholson played the Joker, he actually killed Batman's parents in that one. But,
Oh,
so it's not the first time, Joker's come before Batman, but it's not usually that way. Yeah,
got
so it's
you.
interesting.
So yeah, shoots Thomas. Like you just say, shoots the mom or
Yep,
something.
shoots the mom and rips her pearl necklace off her neck, as in a
Yeah.
lot of Batman media. And as this happens, the Joker wakes up on the hood of the cop car and stands up as this crowd is cheering for him, like begging him to stand up and be this symbol that they need, I guess. So he starts dancing on the hood of the cop car, just like when he killed those guys. He takes blood from his bloody nose and paints a smile on his face with it. The iconic Joker smile.
As it fades to black, we just hear his laugh.
Yeah. We cut to Arthur, no makeup or anything. He is in Arkham laughing, and someone across the table, his, I guess, doctor, asks, "What's so funny?" To which he says, "Oh, just thinking of a joke." And we cut back to Bruce standing over his dead parents in the alley.
Darkness.
No,
No
parents.
parents. Yes, that's the joke, but I'm sorry. Like, I'm
Joke was
just
Lego Batman.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, the doctor asks Arthur, like, "You want to tell me the joke?" And he's like, "You wouldn't get it."
Which is another very memed scene.
Yes.
Yes.
As the movie ends, we see Arthur leave that doctor's visit with bloody footprints.
Yeah, he starts singing "That's
Yeah,
Life."
I think the implication being he stomped his doctor to death or at least grievously injured her.
I did not get that. I just thought,
It was like a
well,
metaphor.
that's weird. I thought it was in his head or something. Like, I don't know. But that you're probably right. That makes a lot more sense.
Well, I think it's open to interpretation, like a lot of things with this movie. He gets to an end of the hallway, starts running as we assume he's being chased by an orderly or something. As we get the end, and the credits. That's the movie. That is this DC alternate universe version of the Joker. It should be noted that at the time that this was released, the DC cinematic universe was kind of already in shambles.
Yeah,
But this,
when did Aquaman come out? Before or
I
after
am
this
not
movie?
certain.
Because I liked that movie and I don't like a lot of DC movies.
I I don't either. This one was good, but we're
I think it came out
yeah.
after,
Regardless, this was not part of the DC cinematic universe. This was not.
which is why it was good.
Yeah, because it was a standalone Joker story in an alternate universe. There was no pressure to fit it into any continuity. It was just kind of an original story about the Joker. They kind of altered. I mean, they made up an origin for him because he's got like 8, and none of them are canon. You make up whatever fucking origin story for the Joker you want.
Hey, who's gonna stop you? How are they gonna know?
Who's gonna know? But yeah, in a lot of interpretations of Batman, how Thomas Wayne is portrayed varies. In a lot of them is not only leads Wayne Enterprises, but he was also a surgeon. So that
Like a surgeon.
yes, getting a lot of songs in today. It's
Sorry.
fine. But with that added layer of Thomas Wayne being a doctor and the tropes and ideas of what who a doctor is supposed to be,
Who is a doctor supposed to
someone
be?
who takes care of people. someone who makes
Thank you.
people better. Usually, Thomas Wayne is depicted as a loving father, someone who was very respected in Gotham and tried to give back to the city. And not every interpretation, he's like this shining beacon of hope or anything. Usually, and Bruce Wayne usually always sees him that way from his memories. But of course, a kid's going to feel that way, and if they're ripped away from you, even more so.
Right.
Some interpretations have him as being kind of cold or distant or even, maybe classically dignified and hard to approach, even if he was a good father. This is one of probably the shittiest versions of Thomas Wayne.
I think that was
Yes, he
intentional.
he seems about 4 seconds away from saying "Make Gotham Great Again." Usually people
I don't know if we can go quite as far, but
Mm. Thomas Wayne comes off as shitty Republican in this movie, which is
yes,
is a
yes.
valid interpretation. It's an alternate universe, you can play with the characters however you want. So, but again, usually like in the Arkham games, in a lot of movies, like I said, say for the Jack Nicholson version of the Joker, Joker is a result of Batman's early career. Sometimes direct involvement.
Batman's early
What
career.
else would you call it?
I don't know because you mean literally Batman's early career, not Bruce
Yeah,
Wayne's
like
early
Batman's
career.
early run, Batman's
Early
early
career as a vigilante.
I never said it was a lucrative career. He's got other money.
His early
His
career.
early stint?
His entry level.
Sure. Usually, the Joker is a result of Batman's early adventure? I don't know. Career seems the best word.
His
Sure.
adventure just
Um,
makes it they're like locked arms going down fucking Gotham.
no, that's usually the first Robin in Alfred. Like the first Robin's like super upbeat. Despite all the shit he's been through, he's super much more well adjusted than Bruce Wayne. Probably because he had Bruce Wayne to be his dad. I don't know. Anyway, not important. Usually the Joker is a result of Batman being a vigilante. In some interpretations, he's directly responsible. In others, Joker just saw Batman and became infatuated with him and became the Joker. So this is definitely not your typical depiction of the Joker being from a generation before Bruce Wayne and directly influencing Batman's origin story. It's certainly interesting and a lot of fun. And again, I'm not super into DC Comics, so I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, that's not how it's supposed to go. This is an alternate universe. It's
And I mean, you
fun.
shouldn't do that anyway. It really pisses me off when like like I guess I get it because sometimes I get that way if like a movie butchers adaptation of a book, but like it's a movie. Calm the fuck down.
Well, and comic book movies too, both Marvel and DC have toyed with there being hundreds and thousands of alternate universes. There's always a
Right.
what if alternate universe for a bunch of Marvel
There are
characters.
literally what if Funko
Yeah,
Pops.
there was the Ultimate Marvel line that was just a kind of a reboot of a lot of Marvel things in a different universe. The Marvel movies take place in a separate universe. That's why things don't have to go exactly the way they did in comic books.
Right.
So for this to be its own, this is just a story about the Joker and its own much more realistic and grounded universe. You can do whatever the fuck you want with it. And I think a lot of people liked it. So
Yeah.
hopefully no one took that. And it being standalone, I think helps too.
Right.
So this,
So what did you think?
well, this was a lot of fun. I'm gonna give this 4 stars. Because they did a really good job portraying Arthur as someone sympathetic, but diving real balls deep into villainy.
Yeah.
Because as much as you can sympathize with the people protesting in Gotham that, fuck the rich and this city stopped caring about us, the system is broken, the Joker doesn't care about any of that.
Right. He's not doing this for a
No,
cause.
he loves the adulation and the attention, but he doesn't care. He's not trying to make anything better. Because in no point in his
Right.
speech in the talk show does he talk about what should be happening. Even Murray calls him out. There's a lot of self pity and justification for what he did. It doesn't mean Joker's wrong. And it doesn't mean Murray's right
Yeah.
either. The Joker doesn't care. He has stopped caring. He just wants to make people who have made him suffer or people he thinks are awful die. which is still less villainous than other versions of the Joker who, just do shit for, shits and giggles anyway. But and
Yeah.
again, maybe he delves further into that in the sequel, which we haven't watched that either.
Right. But it's like right idea, wrong follow through. We can think that the systems are corrupt and we can want to sort of root for the ideas that, he's talking about, but he's not a redeemable character because like you said, he doesn't actually care.
Right. His
He just wants to incite violence and
right.
chaos.
Even his killing of Murray was not like to make anything better.
Right.
Murray isn't even someone who's causing a lot of the suffering. He is a late night comedian. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just shows someone snapping. I thought it was a lot of fun. It was a very good like psychological movie. I think I enjoyed watching it toy with a lot of ideas and Batman tropes and mythos that we know and doing them differently. So I had a lot of fun with it. What did you think?
So I gave it a 3.7 out of
Okay.
5.
Close.
I wanted to give it a 4, because I really liked this one, and I don't usually like the movies that get nominated for Oscars and that win Oscars, but I did actually really like this one, and I butchered Joaquin Phoenix's spelling of his name. I said Jaquim. Jaquim, yeah. Did a phenomenal job balancing between unhinged but sympathetic. The thing that I think hurt my rating was the pacing. The beginning was very slow. I kind of wanted to skip some of it and just like, all right, where's the
What
action
is he
coming?
nuts?
Right. But it's like it's not in the sense of like, oh, his backstory is boring. Like I don't care about any of this. I just felt like it was a little
And that's fair.
yeah. But like I said, like the bait and switch, like him not being reliable as a protagonist because we don't know if what we're seeing is reality or if it's in his head. Like I think that was so good.
Well, I saw up until I think the sequel kind of confirms a few things, but again, we haven't seen the sequel. Is that there's some people who think at the very end when he's in Arkham and he's talking to that psychiatrist, the whole movie could have been in his head.
Yeah, it's very
Yeah.
plausible.
Which would be amazing because there's a whole comic book of Joker postulating different origin stories for himself. Someone's like, well, which is it? He's like, oh, I prefer my past to be multiple choice. So we don't
Mm.
like this could just be another backstory he invented. And that's just it, I don't know. I really like it, but that's a fair rating. So all right. Well, that is all for this episode. Next time, us and a special guest will be reviewing Club Dread.
Yes, Broken Lizards Club
Broken
Dread is the
Lizards.
full name. You put some respect. No, I'm just kidding. You can call it Club Dread. That's fine.
All right. Well, we will see you all in the next episode. Bye.
Bye.